Welcome back to the 24th floor. Avery Braggs with Rachel Phillips and Caleb Hilliard. Guys, we get hoops tonight. Tigers hoops, specifically. The Tigers have their second exhibition game of the season against Alabama in the Rocket City Classic this evening. They fell to North Carolina 84-76 in their first exhibition of the year. They didn't have their best player in R.J. Davis. Alabama will be without Grant Nelson, Aiden Sherrill, and Latrell Wrightsell Jr. Penny Hardaway, my friend, what would you like to see from your team in this second scrimmage?
So what I'm looking for in these games is to recognize the threat, to communicate loudly, to try to execute as well as you can. And if you don't, when we huddle, we recognize that we didn't execute properly because they have to be coaches on the floor. When we get into a timeout, I can adjust things. I can only do so much on the sideline while it's live action, but we're trying to get our teams, the good teams, are able to correct themselves on the fly, on the floor, with leadership and communication. So that's what I'm looking for. But we're going to play our style against Alabama. We didn't play our style against North Carolina.
So you hear from Penny Hardaway there. They're trying to play their style in this particular game. In the North Carolina game, they also didn't show a whole lot, right? Because they thought they might see North Carolina again later on down the road. Alabama, number 2 in the AP poll, could be number 1 team in the country. This is a really good litmus test in the same way that North Carolina was, and what this Tigers team could potentially be.
Well, I think that Alabama, in a sense, is the antithesis of North Carolina, in which North Carolina are a juggernaut offensively, whereas Alabama is a juggernaut defensively. That's why a large reason why they're number 2 in the country, based off of the last 2 seasons down there in Tuscaloosa. So I think it will be interesting. We didn't get to see Tyrese Hunter fully unleashed, and that's because Penny said that Tyrese has been in so many different scenarios over the course of his time, at multiple teams, but really at Texas, he was their crunch time guy, and he wanted to see how other players responded to it. So I want to see what Colby Rogers, PJ Haggerty, and Tyrese Hunter look like running those sets, seeing how Penny is wanting them to play. Penny's going to want them to play fast, but we haven't seen it yet, so we don't know. I mean, a fast-paced offense would seemingly suit this team well, but then when you add someone, like Dane Danger in and Musa Cisse, are they going to be able to run the floor like they wanted Naquan Tomlin and Malcolm Dandridge to do last year? Something that those guys are really used to. You look at Musa. Musa's never been asked to play in that role. Last year at Ole Miss, his role, we saw it. It's going to be very different than his role this year. Now, Penny in that press conference did say that he believes Musa could be one of the best defensive big men in the league. We've seen flashes of it. Penny's been able to create defensive players' defensive prowess, especially in that center role. So I'd love to see that. Dane Danger, we already knew, is a great defensive player. But really, just going back to Tyrese Hunter, I would love to see Tyrese. Big players get up for big games. This game doesn't matter, but Tyrese is going to want to put up 32 on these guys. So is PJ. So is Colby.
I was going to say, you say the game doesn't matter, and obviously technically it doesn't, but it does. It does, right? I think it's. You're going against, like you mentioned, one of the best teams in the country, number 2 preseason. They were Final 4 last year. This is a very good Alabama side that Memphis are going up against. And this is the time to see, okay, who are we? What do we have as a team? Obviously, they've had some off-the-court issues, if you even want to call them that, these last couple of weeks. Let's see how they come together and actually build as a team right now. This is the moment where it's okay, you're probably going to have your backs against the wall at some point against this Alabama team. So how do you stand up, and who stands up? That's what I'm most excited about. You mentioned Dane Danger. I want to see him have a good game. I think we expected more for him against North Carolina and really get to see it. Yeah, obviously he had some back issues, we were told, but I think it'd be exciting to see him kind of come out. Obviously Musa getting his chance now, coming back from injury as well. I think it's an exciting time for Memphis Tigers basketball, and this is where it all begins, right? Next Monday is the beginning of the season, so this is their last test before the regular season begins, and we'll see how it goes.
This will certainly be a guard-oriented team, but I think you guys bringing up the bigs is a really good point, because Dane Danger, we were made to believe, is going to be this defensive stopper. He could be a focal point of their offense, maybe their third option after a PJ Haggerty and a Tyrese Hunter. And we really didn't get a whole lot of that in the North Carolina game. Memphis kind of got bullied a little bit in that North Carolina game, and we didn't think that was going to happen. But we'll see. Especially get Dane Danger in there. We will see more of Musa Cisse. I would like to see what he's able to do against something like an Alabama. But I think Penny Hardaway really gets up for this one, because not only is his team going up against some of the best teams across the country and in Alabama and North Carolina, he gets a chance to go up against some of the best coaches in the country. And if there's one thing we know about Penny Hardaway, he's a very competitive guy, as all these guys are. But him in particular, having played at the level that he's played at, and now trying to be a coach, kind of at that similar level, you know he's licking his lips, licking his chops against a Nate Oates, a guy who has been in the Final Four, somewhere that Penny Hardaway wants to take this team here in a little bit longer. So that game will be 7 p.m. tonight in Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City Classic, and we'll see what the Tigers are able to do against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Let's talk a little about soccer.